Hey traders, welcome back. We are going to talk about the second video that I'm filming this evening. It's 8/20/2017. In my last euro dollar video, 75 pips explained, I mentioned we're early into the trading evening, early into the trading week. But before we're going to look for a trade this evening, we got to step back into last week and explain a few good trades that we had on the table. Another trade that we had outside of the euro dollar was our United States dollar versus the Japanese yen. We were able to buy and go long from 108.84. And this trade was not complicated. With trading, it can be complicated, and our job has to be to make it uncomplicated and stick to our rules of entry and exit. So when we look at this chart on the dollar yen, the first thing I want to ask you is, what do you see in a very uncomplicated way? The first thing you should be saying to yourself is, well, I see a lot of red candles going down. And if you said that, if you're thinking that, you're correct. We had a nice move down, 200 pips on the dollar yen. When this was happening, I didn't complicate it by getting into this move. I just watched it. And if we travel backwards on the chart here, simply saw there was a level of support back there around the 11th of August, and this band shade rolls over and continues. So once we got close to this bottom band shade, this is what I mean by with trading. Let's not overcomplicate it, but just look for uncomplicated entries and exits using our band shades and then also our grid. In this case, we had a nice move down and a bottom. It was worth in this area to explore going long, simply because we were at the bottom of a band shade with support that this band shade held for us in the past not too long ago. So we went long, and so our price was at 108.84. And here we are. If we look at the dollar yen 15 minute, this was our entry right here on the last chart at 108.84 in this area. And so price traveled up to 109.29, so roughly about 45 pips. We caught the move up from this area. We ran up about 45 pips to 109.29. Now, if you're looking at the chart here, you might ask, okay, so from 108.81 to 109 north, roughly in this area here at 109.38, 109.30, why not hold on to the trade past here and aim for the top of this band shade, or even maybe aim at this as a target at the top of this band shade? And the reason is for this, anytime you start seeing, if you're trading for pips intraday, when you start getting around 30, 40, 45 pips, you've done your job. It's time to take the pips off the table, put them in the bank, and look for a new trade. There's always trades available. Now, when we made this trade and we traveled up 45 pips, there's a few things when I'm looking at this setup right here on the 15-minute chart, and then on our grid, the first thing I see is, and first I'm going to ask you, what do you see? And what I saw and what you're likely seeing is, from this move up, we have two things to consider as a reason to go ahead and close our trade and get out. One, so we traveled from a band shade here to the top of this band shade. That's indication number one. And indication number two is, look at price at 109.30, 109.30, 109.31. You get the idea. Just slightly north is a resistance box at 48. So, 20 pips from 18, 20 pips from where we are. There's nothing wrong with 40, 45 pips on the table here. So that's why we close out the trade. We've traveled from our buy. And remember, in the other videos and past videos, I say we have to strategically enter. We have to have a destination. Once we've reached our destination, we have to strategically exit And 109.30, this is just a wall of numbers. I don't want to fight through it. I'm happy to take these pips. And then just to add one other piece of information as to maybe why we can consider exiting this trade, I took a snapshot of our 1 hour chart just to show you. We touched the top of this band shade, it closed, we started to go red and form a red candle. And, we put all these things together and we have reason to close our trade that we made at the bottom of this move, which was to buy because of our band shade at the bottom. And when we move up to a different band shade, different time, this is a 4 hour chart. But once we see and catch 45 pips on a move from the bottom of this band shade to the top of this one, with a wall of resistance, and then we have, on our 1 hour chart, we have our moving averages moving down. We're at the top of a band shade here, candles turning red, and we've done the work necessary to capture 40 plus pips, in addition to, the pips that we took along the week. This was all the evidence we needed to build our case. It was time to exit the trade. So I'm going to go ahead and look for some more trades this evening. I'll keep you posted on what we find, what trades we make as we travel through the next trading week. So I hope everyone does well. Use these tips, use these things in your trading, and when you piece them all together, you start to formulate a repeatable recipe for placing and exiting your trades. So have a good trading week. We'll talk later. Signing off.